Oh, we're filming? Welcome back to How to Cake It. I'm Yolanda, and this week we are celebrating the fact that Camp Cake is back.
Woo!
Camp Cake's back. All right. Camp Cake has a slumber party theme this summer, and in order to cake that off, I'm gonna cake a pair of slippers. We'll talk more about Camp Cake a little later, but if you really want to register right now, there's a link in the description below.
Yo, what did I tell you about borrowing my onesie?
That I could do it any time. What's yours is mine. Something like that. To make my slipper cakes, I have baked 9 pounds of my ultimate vanilla cake. 6 and 3 is 9. Excellent. I love that I begin every interview with a simple math question that most people could get in 10 seconds. Okay, ready. I baked 2 round pans and 1 rectangular pan. If you'd like to watch me make my ultimate vanilla cake from scratch, click here. I made myself a template to cut out my slippers. It's really easy to do. You could just trace a pair of slippers you have. It's amazing. you're looking for that sole shape. You know what I mean?
Oh,
like the sole of a shoe, not like the sole.
Like the sole.
You know, like the sole of a shoe.
I was like, what's the shape of a sole?
Ooh, yeah, we could sit here forever and ponder that. And now with the round vanilla cakes, we are going to, I just trimmed my template so I could focus on like the front of the sole. And I placed that onto my round cakes, cut around the template. And then I also want to use my small serrated knife to round them down. So this is the part of the slipper that your foot would go into. Okay, so round them off. So now you have 2 soles and then 2 upper parts of the slipper that will go on top. For now, leave them separate.
Yo, speaking of slippers,
yes.
Are those my unicorn slippers too?
No.
Yolanda, can you please
Jocelyn, we don't even have the same foot size.
Which is why they look very big on you.
Let me just fix her hair.
You have my eye mask, my onesie, and my slippers.
Jocelyn, like I just went into your unicorn cellar and picked out a few things. You didn't even notice till you got here. I used a bit of extra cake straps. I used some of my extra cake scraps from my rectangular cake to just extend the top part of the slipper. Like, oh, I should have left this. Like, see how there's like this business?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so right now I have a sole, I have this, and now I want to create these sort of triangles that bridge between. Now that all the parts of my cake are carved, it's time to simple syrup them all with the help of Sir Squeeze.
He keeps asking for a raise. He's irritating.
And the slippers aren't even a lot of cake. Like some weeks are stressful for Sir Squeeze, right? It's like cake on cake on cake. This week,
it was good.
Yeah, it was good. It was a light week for him. I'm gonna fill these cakes and crumb coat and chill them all at once. So what I wanna do is crumb coat the soles, and then I'll spread a layer of Italian Meringue Buttercream before I add the upper part of the slipper, and then just sort of ice in between so I can add my little bridges, and now I can crumb coat the whole thing. Be careful when you're crumb coating just because all the little parts of cake, now that they're at room temperature, wanna move around because they're very light, so just use a light hand. So crumb coat and chill. Camp Cake is back and registration is officially open.
Woo!
Ow!
When is it, yo?
It is happening July 27th. And I'm so excited that the theme for this year's Camp Cake is Slumber Party. I happen to be an expert in slumber parties. I've been to numerous. Camp Cake is one of the only live stream baking events of its kind, and you get to spend the whole day baking with me and the How to Cake It team. I'm here in this kitchen and you're at home in yours. So we are gonna make personal size pizzas that you could top any way you like. We're also making movie night mega cupcakes and my idea of a cake pop. Use the link below to register for Camp Cake at our early bird price. It's 50% off and it's only available this week. And we will see you at Camp Cake. Actually, maybe I won't see you. now my crumb coat is chilled, I can take my slippers out of the fridge and ice them once again. I am going to use my invention to help me with the front of the slippers. I think I'm addicted to my invention.
I think maybe we need a new invention.
I feel like next week I'm going to make a square cake and I'd be like, I can't even use my invention. I can't do this. You know what I mean?
I do. The funny thing is your invention is square and yet is used for rounded cakes. It's mind-blowing.
It's time to cover the cake with fondant. Surprise. Before I make these cakes look like cute slippers, I need to address the opening of the slipper. I'm so glad I took these from you. It's really helping out here for the demonstration. So this part here on my slipper, I need to cover that with black fondant because it suggests an opening. It's like a black hole into a slipper that you're gonna put your foot into.
A slipper void.
Yes, the slipper void. So now what I wanna do is begin to cover the rest of the slipper. I've chosen lavender fondant. I just think it's so pretty. I don't get to make a lot of lavender cakes.
No.
I wanna texture this fondant. Now, so what I did is I had some brand new clean kitchen towels and I used them to texture my fondant. My immediate thought was clay extruder. Then I thought, no. I was just.
What do you mean? Oh, because you're gonna make them furry.
Yeah, and I was like, I will spend 2 days making them furry, and I also felt like the facial features, once I added them, would kind of get buried in the clay extrusion. They are supposed to look like llamas.
Do you know?
But they really look like any kind of cute animal with a face.
Yeah.
So I decided to make like a kind of, you know those slippers that are made out of like terry towel?
Oh yeah, or like velveteen.
And now you can see just the imprinted texture of the towel on the fondant. I was really happy.
I love it.
One of the hardest things about texturing fondant is you do all that work to texture it, and if you over smooth it, you'll just smooth out the texture. So you just want to lightly smooth it with your fingertips and trim away the excess. And now we can cover the front of our slipper with more of our textured fondant. Be very careful when you're trimming the excess fondant from the top of your slipper where it meets the black fondant that's covering the void. Because we just want to make sure the lavender fondant is overlapping that black fondant just a little. There's nothing worse than cutting a seam and cake is revealed. It is the worst. Now what I want to do is actually intentionally mark a seam. I want to divide the sole from the slipper.
Using this word sole is really throwing me off.
You must divide the sole. I use a fabric measuring tape and I just wrap it around my slipper, mark all the way around and make sure the sole was the same height. And then I used a sculpting tool to just carefully indent the slipper a bit. Oh, it's time to start creating the face for this cute animal slipper.
This nondescript cute
Yes, it's every cute animal in one. And for this, I'm using some ivory fondant, which I rolled out, and now I'm gonna cut out 2 ovals, and I'm gonna use that on the front of the slipper like a snout. I never know what that's called, but it's that area where their nose and lips go. I glued my ivory circles to the front of each slipper with a little bit of clear piping gum. No, I think I used water. Works too. Pretty sure I used water at that point.
Luckily they look the same on camera.
They do. And now I'm going to take the time to make the marks in this oval of where I will lay my nose and my mouth. So I'm actually just using a couple of cutters. I have a triangle cutter for like the nose, and then I'm using an oval cutter to mark that. You know how their mouths are like this? Like when a cat closes its lips. So even though I didn't choose to clay extrude the entire slipper, there's still some clay extruding happening here. So the first thing I'm going to do is extrude some thin cords of ivory. Now I'm going to glue these cords onto my seam around the front of the slipper and then just down the little seam, because remember I covered the back of the slipper and then the front of the slipper. I also want to glue this cord between the lavender fondant and the black void, where you would insert your foot. And then I'm also going to glue a piece around the oval at the front of the slipper. decided to make the features of this animal purple. So the eyelids and the nose and mouth are going to be purple cords of fondant. And now I can brush on clear piping gel everywhere that I want to attach these cords, attach them and trim them in place. Don't forget eyelashes. I feel like it's mandatory on cute animals.
Absolutely.
Right? So we've noticed that you guys have been really loving my giant juice box cake from last year. It has real juice inside. It was a lot of fun to make. It's Cody's favorite cake. So make sure to check it out here. Ears! Oh, any cute pair of slipper needs ears.
It does.
Right, the unicorns just think they're better because they have horns too. I added a little bit of CMC to some of my lavender fondant. This just ensures that when I form my ears, they'll dry a bit more solid and firm. And then I'm gonna form it into an ear. I kind of want just like a little oval shape, a little bit flat, and make sure the ear is slightly indented in the center. I also want these ears to be two-tone. So I have some more of my rolled out ivory. I'm gonna cut out some smaller ovals and glue it to the inside of the ear. For those of you that are subscribed to this channel and that have hit the notification bell, you've probably noticed that we've been putting up more stuff on our community tab. We're putting up behind the scenes at How to Cake It in the YouTube stories. And here's a sneak peek at what I'm making next week. It's one of my favorite treats. Leave a comment below if you think you know what it is. So if you want to make sure to watch all this extra content that I thought it was unnoticeable. I was like, I'll just Beyonce this and keep going. Now it's time to attach the ears. What I want to do is, so I will insert a full toothpick into each ear and then spread a little bit of royal icing on the base and glue them down into the cake. Do this on both slippers. And since I am the designer, I've decided that my slipper line is called Sweet Dreams.
Obviously.
So for my line Sweet Dreams, to make the labels, I rolled out some white gum base, nice and thin. You can do this ahead of time because the drier it is, the easier it will be to write on. I am going to very carefully and lightly write Sweet Dreams. I freehanded it. Some people would say slippers are made for slumber parties or just like bumming around the house, but I strongly disagree. I think it is sensible footwear. Slippers look great with everything.
Guys, what do you guys think? I'm going for like feline goddess. I feel like this is too uptight for these slippers. Does it say cat? Does it match these slippers? Because if it doesn't, I'm not getting it. This is super How to Cake It. Yes. Wait, do we think? This is too serious for me. I don't really get this serious. Let's ask the slipper. What do you think? Does it hide the tail too much? The slippers are perfect.
Slippers are perfect.
I just don't think. But it's about the slippers right now. I think this is the winner.
Yeah.
How to Cake It. How to Cake It. I'm onto this. We're gonna set this trend. Everyone's gonna be wearing slippers out once I do it.
What's missing is a tuft of hair. You think it's just you? My nondescript animal slippers will also have a tuft of hair, and it will be cotton candy. So if you get hungry while wearing these slippers,
No problem.
amazing. It's time to put them on. Well, no, don't put on cake slippers. Don't do it. I'll be back next week with another cake, but for now, check out my ultimate chocolate cake compilation here. My UCCC. You see?